Hi everybody, this is Jennifer and I'm posting my 8x8 photo album that I did with the assistance of ScrapdaWorld Tamika. I followed along her 5 instructional videos and this is what I came up with and I thought I would share it with you. So I used different paper obviously. The paper that I used for this project was from the Paper Studio, Pine Street Square. I got it half price at Michael's. And then I also used from the Paper Studio the 12 Days of Christmas, which was also half price. If I had to do it again, I probably excuse me, would just use the one set of paper. But I'm new to crafting. I'm only been doing it 8 months and I typically do mixed media art. But because I like telling stories with pictures, I did do some photo albums. This is my third one that I've made, and the first one I made in a class with Ginger Rob from my sister Scrapper. So the cover, actually I wanted to share my successes and my failures with you. This is my second cover. I tore off the first one because it was a hot mess. I decided because the paper was so pretty just to let it speak for itself. So all I've done here is some embossing of some snowflakes. And if you can see down there, I have a little reindeer and it says, Happy Holidays. Okay, so we'll take a look inside. And isn't the paper beautiful? I followed along just as ScrapdaWorld did in her videos. So I've got your fold out here, and then I've got some of the journaling spots or photo cards in the middle. And what I did on mine was, I don't know if you can even tell the difference because it has kind of a country feel. I did distress all the pages. I ripped them and then distressed them with antique linen from Tim Holtz. To rip the pages, I also used that Tim Holtz rotary tool or paper ripper. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. Let me show it to you. And I don't know if you can even tell. I can tell you that it added on about an hour and a half total to the time that it took me to do this project. Because I'm new, it took a lot longer than Tamika to do hers. I did have the inserts on all the pages. And that reminds me of my first challenge that I had was when I placed my pages onto the book. I started in the back. I did not go all the way down. So that meant when I was done and set it up, the pages actually extended beyond my borders a little bit here. So I actually trimmed them down probably about 1/8 of an inch. It didn't make any difference really for the paper size, but you can tell it did cause the inserts to stick out about 1/8 of an inch, which I didn't think was any problem because it actually makes it easier to get them in and out. So that was one of the first things that I kind of learned a lesson on. Here's my signature too. We got your flip here and your pull out journaling cards or photo cards. And I used the strip magnets, not the circle ones. I had them, the magnetic strips. I don't love them. I think they're a little bulky, but they do work. And I just used them because I had them. And then here's the middle, which if you did this project, you know it's pretty intense. You've got your flip here and here, which leads me to my next learning point was I was so concerned about getting the tops and the bottoms lined up that I laid them first. And I thought, oh, it's beautiful, it's perfect. But then I realized I couldn't do the middle one because it just won't work that way. So learned that lesson, but I think it looks great. Here's where I started using the second paper. And to keep it kind of in line with the first one, I did distress it. This was bright white, and I used the antique linen distress ink on it. And sometimes I use the walnut on it as well. But beautiful, I love the paper. And here is the waterfall page. And as Tamika said, it was easy peasy. You got your 4x6 flips here. And then you open it up. And here's where I use some of the other paper as well. So there's that. Then on to the back side here was another issue. I just wasn't paying attention. I closed my pocket but I'm okay with it. It's a beautiful page. I think it's lovely, and there's lots of room for this, for photos in this album, no problem. Here's your flip pages. And then my last insert. And then when I got to the back, to be honest with you, I just literally could not do another flap. I was a little burnt out. It took me like 25, 30 hours to put this together because I am so new. And I did use different paper, so I kind of had to construct it. So I just did just a small pocket here. This is for a 3x5 card. And then this as well. And I think the paper is beautiful. If I was going to sell it, I might change this page, but for me right now it is it's beautiful. And there's the back. I left it open for someone to put something, a picture or journaling there as well. Like Tamika said, this thing is sturdy. It's all made of the finest quality, so it definitely is going to last a long time. And the only comment that I would add maybe that was helpful is I learned that Tamika didn't mention was I learned from Ginger in our class that when you're using or doing something that requires a super sticky tape and you need to be very accurate, if you want to be able to adjust it, apply a small line of wet glue over it. So for the pages, for example, I put a small line of wet glue over it so that I was able to put it on there and then adjust it, because for me it was very important to get the pages even to the top and bottom, and then to make the subsequent pages even to each other. And so it allowed me to do that quite easily. The only reason I didn't go all the way in was my mistake. I did that because I had thought that Ginger had said not to go all the way in, that it would restrict the opening and closing or the turning of the pages. But I believe I misunderstood her. So in any case, there is my album. If you have any feedback or tips or comments or questions, please let me know. Thanks again to ScrapdaWorld. She gives awesome videos, and I appreciate her sharing that with us. Thank you.